We would like our viewers to check out one of our sponsors, Tweaked Audio. Please go over to tweakedaudio.com and purchase some noise canceling earbuds while using the promo code Octane Pro to get 33% off and free shipping anywhere in the world. Go show your support and check out tweakedaudio.com today. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 30 of the Smite Update. My name is Octane Pro, and joining me today, as always, the guy across the pond with the bald head that likes to rant and rave about Kronos. It is Risty. Risty, how's it going?
Yeah, well, you can kind of see that I haven't shaved this week just because it's Movember. What they always like, everyone likes to grow their moustaches and stuff, but
There you go.
I haven't figured out what I want to do with it yet, so it's just full grown. I'm gonna let that one kind of.
Yeah, I didn't shave this weekend, but that's about it. Just because I'm lazy. It's not because I have a purpose or anything like that.
You've got the small 5 o'clock shadow look.
That's right.
That's like
right.
me
It's
after
like,
a day.
hey, 3 days of shaving. That's what it looks like. Well, awesome. Well, if you guys are just joining us for the first time, I appreciate you guys coming out. This is a weekly podcast, or almost weekly. We didn't have a show last week because there was no patch. So, no show. But this week, we definitely have a patch with an introduction of the newest god, Muzenkab. It took me forever to figure out how to say that until I actually heard it on stream. As it was like, he's called the Bee God. But anyways, Risty, what have you been up to in game? Anything to update us on in and out of game?
It's a whole lot of League that I've been doing at the minute, just because I want to kind of get out of bronze. I missed silver by 10 places on the last one.
Wow.
I was gutted.
How did you? Where did you? Was there a certain spot you could see the rank then to determine like if you missed it or not?
Yeah, well, what it turned out somewhere, I think one of the Hi-Rez guys said that everybody up to like rank 540 or 60 or something like that got into silver, and I was like 10 places short. And I was gutted. But at least now they've changed it, so at least we can see where we need to be to actually get there, though.
Sure.
But now
Definitely.
I'm stuck in bronze for another month.
Now let me clarify. This is League or Smite League play, not League of Legends. Just gonna put it out there. Just put it out there because I've had people like I put like League in like my stream title. People are like, "Wait, you're playing League of Legends?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "I'm not playing that."
They need to think of a different name for it, more smitey.
That's right. More godly, I guess, is a proper wording of what we're looking for right now.
Probably.
But yeah, well, regardless, needless to say, a lot of cool stuff. I've been playing a lot of 3 vs 3 actually. A lot of viewer games as I always do, and I'm actually liking Tyr right now in 3 vs 3. I go ahead and grab Blink on him, and I just love comboing and ganking with that. So I've been really enjoying kind of 3 vs 3 with Tyr.
Basically, blink to the other side and then push him forward.
Yeah, I just blink behind him, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to push you into my 2 other teammates, and we're good to go. So it's always nice. Works out well to have that availability.
Ruthless, yeah. I hate going up against Tyr as a jungler at the start. It's until late game, I can't deal with him at all. Unless someone else is there, I don't even bother.
Yeah.
And if the lane's losing to him, it's like, do I try and gank? And half the time, I'm just like, nah. I'm just going to leave that one. As long as he's not dying, it's not too much of a problem.
My challenge with like Tyr when I play Tyr in like a 3 vs 3 is like when people are like, oh, you need to go, can you go tanky for us? And I'm like, oh, I guess, but it's like Tyr can play like AD style and still be good. And so when someone tells me to go tanky, I'm like, I don't know how. I just like to AD with him.
I just go, shush, you don't know what you're talking about.
I know, right? Just let me play it out.
Stick a void blade on him and that's it. Done. You can't
That's right,
kill him.
Tacky. See, he's got some protection. That's all. That's what you asked for.
That's what you need. Yeah.
Don't question it. Don't question it. All right. Well, cool. Let's go ahead and jump into. We're changing our kind of the layout of the show around a little bit. We're actually going to open up with Risty and the community news.
Right, I've found some interesting posts on Reddit, and I was looking at a few that we found, and the one I've got here is the top 5 most requested changes to Smite round 3. Hi-Rez Kelly has been putting this up, so she's got round 1, 2, and 3 at somewhere where where people are like going, what do we want to change in Smite so much? And it's a good little post to put out, and I'll just kind of put the link up. And what it is, and if you can see the results to the second one that they've done, this is the third one, and it just shows you quite a lot of what basically the community feel is wrong with Smite and where it needs to go, and it's
Sure.
quite good because a lot of the ones that we were saying, less super soldier gods, more people want tanks to be the only ones with hard CC and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah. Well, that's
it's
the thing.
kind
I
of
mean, it's hybrids, and that's the biggest question that's revolved around Smite for the longest time is, which direction do they go? Do we go with this hybrid method where, for example, tier? We're talking about tier. He could go AD or he can go straight tanky. Okay, but then, there's a lot of other gods like that in the game that have that option, and some people, argue, hey, you don't need to do that. You can go ahead and have one class specification per god, and it's kind of funny because we're like, how many months into beta, and how close to launch, and that's still like a question and something the community's pushing.
yeah. There's that as well. There's a funny thing as well. Down at the number 4 was like reporting and like back BMing and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It was the notes like contract players to look at the reports. Now I kind of like the way that Riot did this a bit. I think they did like councils or something like that, where they
Yeah.
actually get the community to look over cases and stuff like that, and then they cast the votes and hand out like the temporary bans and stuff. Well, like they give their verdicts on it, and then whatever happens, Riot then put out the punishment, obviously. But it would take a lot of the pressure off of obviously Hi-Rez, and then people would know that at least then their reports are getting looked at.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be an
It's interesting. I was kind of, didn't I swore some time ago that Erez had spoiled like the karma system where like you could go ahead and rate people. Do you remember that?
no.
I thought
I
I read,
don't.
I
No,
thought I
I
read
missed
a
that one.
post like a month or two ago, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe chat room you can verify if I'm like nuts right now. But I swore there was like Erez had spoiled like, oh, we're going to be coming out with a karma system where you can go ahead and give karma towards or negative karma towards a player. They can't be in your party, so if like Risty and I, were together in a party, I couldn't like upvote him and such like that. But it would
Could I
allow you.
downvote you? I'd want to downvote you.
Yeah,
Just
it
for a
would be like this
second.
upvote downvote system within Karma in order to help with that BM and or to help with people that are like really really helpful and that did really really well and you want to go ahead and like say thank you. But I swore they mentioned that like months ago. But I don't know what happened with it. Like what like why didn't it take off? Why didn't they even do it? I'm not really sure what happened there.
It's the problem you get with like karma is like someone else has put it that karma's like a two-way street. A lot of trolls will give everybody bad karma. The best way it kind of worked out, I think that Dota actually does this one. It just commends. You can commend people
Mm-hmm.
and only give people that you think. And it also gives it like a category, like good leadership, good this, like 4 different categories that they pick from that you can say they were good at this aspect, rather than just you were crap.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I've got out of games and people are like, report so and so. Why? Because he
Oh, I
fed.
know. It's nuts
It's
how many.
like,
People drive me nuts when I never do that. I never ever.
no, I just look at him and laugh and I go, it's never going to get looked at. Don't worry
That's
about it.
right.
It's fine.
What else
But
we
no, it's
got?
good. So we got just more like Erez Spoils.
Hmm.
So like it's more of a summary post on Reddit where you can kind of go through and it's got like October 30th, November 3rd, no,
Okay.
November 1, 2, 3, and the 9th,
Hmm.
all down the bottom, the latest spoils and what he's got going up there. Smite's getting a Korean server at some point.
Yeah, yeah,
Seen
I'm
that
not
one coming.
surprised. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really heard a ton about like the Korean side, how things were going over there.
I've heard
Or,
nothing.
I'm sorry, over in the Chinese servers. Like, haven't really heard much. I mean, I know I saw somewhere somebody had posted that was like, "Hey, things are going well," but like that was it. Like, I haven't heard anything else. Like, somebody had put up a video. I thought I saw. Yeah, there was a video that came out that showed like the Chinese, like a VOD, and it was pretty much identical. Everything looked pretty much the same, except for like your between screens and stuff like that. But when you're actually playing the game, everything looked very very similar there. From what I recall on the Chinese side, I thought there was something.
I keep meaning to like go onto their servers,
Yeah,
but I've been so busy trying to make sure I get into silver next
yeah,
promotion that I've been busy with leaks.
sure.
It's been a nightmare.
Oh yeah. What else
There
you got?
was,
What else is in there?
have you noticed on the patch that how big and intrusive the minimap is?
Well, yeah. I had to go in and make adjustments to that right away.
Yeah, I didn't
I wanted to be
adjust
like,
it
who
at all.
selected that size to be the default?
It's massive.
I know, right? And
I
was
went
like,
into for a
I didn't.
while
I
when we
didn't
went into
think the
game.
minimap was a problem though. Like sometimes I wonder, like where is it? Like where's that suggestion box that's like, The minimap needs huge changes because I swear I would have been the last person to be like, oh yeah, next patch we're going to see an adjustment to the minimap.
Do you know what? I've actually left it as the biggest one that they've got.
Really?
I just left because it was like, well, I'm blatantly not going to miss anything now, am I? Really?
Yeah.
But it's been quite funny to actually see that though.
Sure.
What we side note, what I kind of moaned at you about before the stream, like we're not going to see it in any of these other bits, but we see with the way I'll say it to the viewers more like anything else. We got like auto bans for the tournaments. Like if something's wrong, like there's a broken, like Kronos was auto banned from the tournament this week.
Correct.
They need to auto ban him from League. If there's a reason they pull him out, pull him out of League straight away. There is no reason to leave someone in that's broken because it ruins the banning phase. Because if you don't ban him or someone doesn't realize that they need to ban him, the game's a whitewash straight away. Like
Yeah.
You need to dodge that match if you don't want to die. That's pretty much what it is. If someone gets Kronos and it's not your team, goodbye.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they didn't make the adjustment there within league play. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how hard it is to go ahead and just like disable a god. I mean, they just said in the tournament they didn't, like there was no disable feature for the tournament side, but they just kind of said it. Hey guys, don't play Kronos because there's some problems with him. Right
I think
now.
I seen someone, either Erez or HiRezChris, or someone say that they might disable Kronos at some point until they fix it because they know there's a problem. But it's like, could you do it a little bit quicker? Because it's destroying.
Would you do
It's
it faster?
destroying.
Risty's frustrated. Would you do it faster, please?
It was. You get into games with Kronos and he just destroys. It's so funny.
Yeah.
What else we got? We got coming up there. We got some other spoils from HiRezChris, which is dated like 11th for the 8th.
Yep.
That's a bit. Oh no, okay, that was
Like
2 days ago. All right, yeah, I was a bit like. So there's league changes that should be coming out where they're going to see for the next patch, dodge matches and AFKs will be tracked separately from losses, so there will be additional penalties. Because at the moment, I don't believe there's a penalty at all from dodging matches, so it doesn't count as a loss for you. From what I hear from other players, they're just saying it's not anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. With dodging, I assume that's what they mean, where like the queue pops and they just don't accept it.
No, it's when they get into lobby, and then in the lobby when they're picking gods, people are like, I don't want to play with you, or you're. Basically, they have a disagreement, or something goes. They don't like what they see, and they're like, I'm not going to play this game, and then they just let the timer run out without picking a god.
Oh, and then it kicks them out. But yeah, but that should count as a deserter.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's definitely a deserter right there. Without a doubt, that should be the same thing as in the middle of the game, and you just get up and leave. That's why I would that's what I actually would do, like if I was to pick that.
Yeah, they're also getting rid apparently of qualified players. All players in league will be counted towards demotions and promotions, which will be good because to be honest, until people are getting over the 10 match threshold, they're not counted in the overall pool. Okay. So that means the people that are getting promoted, there is a much smaller quantity. Like the top 20% is obviously a lot smaller and it could be bigger and a lot more people could be getting up.
Sure.
And there was a post that I found here on Reddit. There's nothing big. I'll put it in chat anyway, but it's saying like only 75 people going to gold because they've got obviously it's such a small player base that actually does play ranked, and they've got 5 tiers. And they're only doing it like the top 20%. They're not going to populate diamond very well. I think somebody put here that where was it? 75 in gold before more qualified. That means 15 in platinum and 3 in diamond.
Okay.
So they're going to need to actually look at that problem because at the minute it's definitely foreseeable because you're constantly just cutting down on how many people can go through, and it's going to be a bit of a problem. So. Yeah, they're going to need to look at that sometime soon because you can't be like, right, okay, I've got into gold or platinum. I can't play anymore.
Yeah.
But then it also means a problem. Could you imagine getting up there being like the first 15 people that get into platinum, but because you can't play, you're going to be in the bottom 20% and then you'll go back down to gold just because there wasn't enough people to play games with.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I would have to agree.
That kind of sucks. And lastly, for the community news, I like this guy that it's a YouTuber, extra credits, that does some funny little like cartoon videos. And before he did like power creep thing and so on like that. But this is another little video about like Smite doesn't have power creep; it has spectacle creep, which is basically what it means is it's not the fact that the power of all the gods are getting up, but things having to be better all the time. So like, think of how flashy Artemis is compared to Apollo.
Oh, sure.
All the kits and how they need to be better, and they just need to keep kind of pushing the limits and stuff like that. So it's a great little video to watch, and also it's the voice is quite funny to actually just listen to anyway. I like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good Smite content coming out of the scene right now, which is really nice because quite a bit of diversity, which is good. I know that's what everyone's always looking for, so it's kind of pleasing to actually have that type of diversity right now in the scene with content creation. With like, and I feel like maybe it was me, but do you feel like in the past like month the like art scene has like taken off? Like I feel like there's an art show now on like the Hi-Rez channel. There's a Hi-Rez like the podcast show that they're doing, or I guess it's just a show, not really a podcast. And there's like art like popping up on Reddit all the time. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I feel like it took off over the past like month or two.
I think it's more because like Hi-Rez have obviously put the art show in. People now are sitting there thinking, people are actually going to see my art and actually appreciate my art, and then they're like, oh, that's a good idea. And
oh yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Oh no, I definitely do as well. It's really quite nice to actually see all the it's the people's imaginations. You look at it and go, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Some of that stuff is like, really? I was like, that's really good. Well, awesome, guys. Let's jump into our next section, and then we'll be jumping into the patch notes and discussing the Muzen Cab patch. So, next section here is the esports update, where we go ahead and give you just a quick update on this past weekend in the tournament. We did see first place going to Team Dignitas. They actually won in the North American side 2-0 over Denial Esports, as well as we had Reason Gaming winning over Exeter Esports for third place. In the EU scene, which just finished up today, we had Mortality EU beating out SK Gaming, knocking them off their throne there. Furthermore, we had the Fanboys getting third and Cognitive Gaming EU getting fourth. And I was actually just looking at there was a meme put up, and I'll put it in chat. I just saw those on Reddit. It was kind of funny. And it's a meme of a kid, and it says, wins with all tank team, loses twice with regular team. Regarding SK Gaming today, they did lose today, as I talked about, to Mortality Esports, which Mortality Esports has claimed the throne in the past. They've been doing rather well, actually, as a newer team. I think they're about a month, maybe 2 months old right now, but still doing very, very well. So that pretty much wraps up
I've noticed that with like SK seem to, I don't mean to like degrade or down.
Oh, please.
Speak
your mind.
They only seem to win with gimmicks. There's always a lot of times that they'll win because they're pretty good anyway. They're SK, they're up there obviously, but they're always gimmicky. They'll always try something kind of unordinary. Like fair enough, they're pushing the limits on what you can actually do, but when they end up going to like standard teams, as you can see, it's like, well, it doesn't quite work anymore. They seem, unless they pull out something very weird and different, they just can't seem to put it together.
Sure. No, I can understand that argument there. So let's go ahead and jump into the patch notes. This is patch notes that were released on November 7th. And those of you guys that aren't familiar, what we do is we go ahead and take about a week later after the patch comes out to discuss the patch and go over some of the things and get some feedback from you guys in chat and stuff like that. So, So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. We've had about a week, as I said, to play the patch and kind of just skim through each of the patch notes, pointing out some more effective things. So let's see here. Taking a look, we had the newest god, which is a Muzen Cab. And let me go ahead and bring him up on screen so you guys can take a look here. There he is right there. That is, he is the god of bees. And I know Hi-Rez had a lot of fun discussing him and kind of promoting him. Here is his skin. I guess it's called Sting. It's this kind of green.
I quite like it because it's not silver.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. I like it. It definitely came out pretty neat. I feel like his head is super small. but in everything, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
It's kind of the exoskeleton's just making it look small and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah. exactly. So it's kind of weird there, but jumping back, kind of talking about him, his first ability is Bees, which is actually his passive. And we'll kind of run through these and discuss them. Enemies afflicted by bees take 10, which is a plus 50% of your physical power, physical damage every 0.5 for 3 seconds. So pretty much your bees are like your weapon per se, your nonchalant type of weapon that exists. Your first ability is Hive. And this is actually, it's like a stick that gets planted in the ground with a hive hanging off of it. And a Muzen Crab creates a new hive at this ground target location, providing him with 20, 25, 30, 35, 40% movement speed. And then he also gets a buff to his attack speed as well. And also it heals him, too, for a very small portion, about plus 3% of his physical power. And the hives can be destroyed by one basic physical attack, not by a... not actually by, like, a magical attack. Because I tried that out once or twice. With a magical attack, and I was like, well, that did not go over well, but definitely with a physical attack. So first, let me ask you, Risty, what are your thoughts on this kind of hive setup where you kind of have to like build your network on the map with these hives? Do you like it? Do you not like it? You like the new mechanic? What are your thoughts?
I do like it. It's definitely an interesting one because what you do as well is if you're going back to lane, you kind of like litter the lane with hives, so you just constantly got the passive built up, and the fact that you can kind of go through, and the fact that the funny thing as well, they're not wards, but they can kind of act as wards, because how often are most casual players going to go through a jungle, see a hive, and not kill it?
Correct.
So you're going to see him disappear that way, but it gives him a lot of movement speed and attack speed, and just dropping it, that means if the hive doesn't get taken down, he's got like a steroid buff for the whole time that thing's up. And the cooldown's not that long, 8 seconds, and the mana cost is very low as well.
Yeah, when I first played him the first time in a Conquest, I was like almost playing him like a Vulcan. And it was so wrong to put like the hive in front of me and then go ahead and attack forward. When in doubt, you're actually supposed to like build them behind you. So like if you're in lane and you turn behind you, you should see like 3 hives scattered down the lane compared to in front of you. Did you notice that? Like, you need to build it behind you and not in front of you. Okay.
I did that I did that mainly because the ones in front of me used to just get auto attacked down, and the fact that I thought, right, if I've always got them littered behind me, if anything happens, I've got a movement speed buff to get back. So
sure.
There wasn't too much of a problem. It wasn't that bad.
Sure. His second ability is a Muzen Crab summons a large swarm of bees that fly forward in a path in front of him. So what are your thoughts on, I guess, his second ability, Swarm? I mean, I kind of like it. It kind of reminds me of Kronos' slow ability. Kind of that same type of, I mean, very, very similar, actually.
It's a very good lane clear, especially with the fact with the bees passive, because obviously it adds the bees. But the funny thing with the bees passive, you only need to hit one creep with it, and it jumps to all of them, because it spreads to nearby enemies over time as well. It also makes it so that the enemy gods can't stand within range of their own creeps. So if you've got a Sobek on your side, they can't stand in the creeps without taking damage. Yeah. So then they stay out of the way, and then Sobek can go for them. But the passive's pretty strong. I remember Pompon saying that it's probably one of the strongest ones, right up there of like Arachne Poison.
Just you're talking about a Muzen Crab's passive, right? Correct.
Bees passive, yeah. It's just because that damage ticking over time throughout the game is just mad. And the funny thing is, at early game, it's pretty good. If you get it onto someone with a Vanguard, it drops it down to about a 3, so it's not that bad. But if you get it on a carry, you're just constantly whittling them down. I did notice, though, quite a lot that he's mana hungry. If you want to use all these abilities, I was burning through so much mana.
Well, that's why some people argue Transcendence is a good pickup.
Yeah, I picked it up a couple of times, but then I think I stopped picking it up and just kind of managed my mana a bit better. But
what? Manage mana? Never.
Yeah, never.
Spam for the win. Spam for the win.
But it's you never need to buy health pots, because obviously you've got your hive, so it's just mana pots all the way. So that works out really. But it's just the lane sustain. Then he just doesn't need to leave.
Yes.
If you've got the mana, get the blue buff every time it comes up, you never need to leave the lane.
Yeah. His third ability is Honey, which just kind of combos with everything. A Muzen Crab sprays honey at a movable ground target location, slowing all enemies in that area. Lowest rank 10, highest rank 30%. Bees from nearby hives and swarm will fly over to protect the honey. So they do damage. So you'll see a lot of people, they have hives down. They'll then go ahead and spray with honey. Spray right at a enemy, which will slow them. And then they go ahead and use their second ability, which is swarm, to go ahead and do additional damage. Yeah, what are your thoughts on honey? You like the combo with swarm?
I like the way it kind of works, where you'd use it first and then you can drag it around.
Yes.
It works kind of cool.
Yep.
But I did notice, obviously, it took me a little while to figure it out, so I read it and then kind of worked it out myself in my head how it kind of worked. That it doesn't do damage unless there's a hive near it. So half the time you have to remember to put a hive down.
Or if you cast swarm, because if you read the details, it says bees from nearby hives and swarm, which the swarm is your second ability, will fly over to protect it. But if you have a hive nearby, it's like astronomically more damage.
Straight away down. Yeah.
Correct.
And the fact it slows as well. And you can fire it over walls and everything. It's like, haha.
It is nice. It is nice. I will agree there. Finally, the last ability is his ultimate. Stinger. A Muzenkab fires off an enormous stinger that deals quite a lowest 275, highest 595. Physical damage to all enemies in a line, so it does have that skill shot right directly in a line, sticking into the first god that it hits, and applying bees and cripple. So once again, you get bees, which is his first ability, his passive, and cripples them for 3 seconds. If the target dies or gets cleansed of cripple, or after 3 seconds, the stinger falls off the ground target for 4 seconds. If a Muzenkab goes and picks up that stinger, he gains an 80% reduction on his cooldown. So, what is your thought on stinger so far?
It's so much damage. That's a lot of damage that comes out. It feels a bit weird when you fire it for how there's a lot of a delay before it actually goes out.
Yes.
It threw me off a few times. I was like, is it going yet? Is it going yet? And I have a bit of a gripe with the targeter as well. Sometimes I'm sitting there going, the targeter goes underneath the gods, so you don't see it sometimes, and it's like, eh. Yeah. So maybe I think I was saying this to you earlier. I'd like to see the ground targeters stay underneath the gods, but all the other skill shot targeters be like an iron sight and go overlay over the gods, so you can actually see where it's going without the gods blocking the light, blocking the template basically. Yeah. It just kind of worked that way, but. The fact that you can pick it up in the cooldown reduction, I was getting 15-second cooldown on it.
Okay.
Pick it up, fire again. You could fire it
because of the cooldown reduction of the pickup. Yeah, I completely understand that one.
So I was firing it 2 or 3 times in a team fight, and it was doing so much damage. It is mad. I think for the fact that you can fire it as many times as that, but even though you have to pick it up, they might need to nerf the damage on it because it is pretty strong. Now we've gone through all the skills. Muzenkab. You are always the top damage just because of the bees passive. Throw that out in a team fight, hits everybody and all that.
No, I agree. I mean, I think he's very, very strong. People are arguing in chat OP, a little too strong. I think it's something definitely to argue at this point. We'll have to see kind of what happens here in the upcoming. Do we see a quick patch here on Tuesday or Wednesday to correct this or not?
Yeah, I reckon the damage needs to go down. Maybe a little bit of the healing sustain as well. Maybe the healing's a bit too much because sometimes you just throw. You can even if you're really low, you can just kind of sit back a little bit, throw out some bees, sit for your hive a little bit, and then get the healing. So they might want to drop that down a bit because the healing actually increases plus 3% of your physical power as well. So it will increase later on. But it's just kind of another thing to look at. It's fun.
So that pretty much sums up a Muzenkab. We're going to go ahead and move on and throw it off to Risty to discuss the next part of the update.
So we got the Assault got redone. It actually looks pretty cool.
It looks badass. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. They put like a whole load of lore section in the patch notes, which I am not going to read. Like the sun and the moon are now the 2 hounds.
It's so valuable. Please read it.
I look at it and go gibberish. No.
All I see is a wall of text. I'm like, eyes glazed over. Next.
No, yeah, pretty much. But I like the 2 hounds in the background. They look kind of cool.
Yeah.
The whole area looks really quite amazing. And they did the soundtrack. I didn't appreciate the soundtrack too much because I only did like 1 assault. I thought I'll give that a go. Have a look. Looks pretty cool. I'm quite happy with that. And other than that, and there's a couple of ships or something like that as well behind the spawns. But no, I quite like the way it looks. Another map overhaul again. Just keep making it a bit more glitz and glamour.
See, Somebody, I forget where somebody heard it, and they might have just been reading into it so much. I thought they heard somebody had like posted somewhere about the fact of, somebody had read something about how at the moment I forget what those hounds are or whatever behind the one spawn that, and you know what I'm talking about, those giant hounds.
Yeah,
That
okay.
are like trying to break out, and somebody had asked like, I forget, a developer, if they are thinking about using that like to break out and go attack or something like that, and they had said not at the current time, and possibly in the future or something. I think it'd be cool to add different like stages to it, like when if a team has a tower and a phoenix down, and the other team still has a tower and a phoenix, that one of those would get released, like wiping the opposing team and all the minions just real quick, like a wipe. Whoosh.
It could be set on a timer. If you don't win it this time, one
That's
of the
right.
hounds
I don't
is
know.
going to come
They could
out.
just do a lot of stuff with the environment, which we don't see that with Smite. Like, there is no environmental changes within the game of Smite whatsoever. And so that would be kind of cool to start to see that added in. I mean, even if my idea is crazy and people don't like it, just coming up with something in order to add to Assault even more. I mean, I think Assault's a lot of fun, but that would just make it ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but assault's just for a laugh anyway. You don't really kind of take it
What
seriously.
you
It's
talking
just like,
about is for fine-tuning your skills as random players.
well, I know a lot of people love it for like team fights, but arena's for the team fights, but assault's just for, I want to just mess around. That's pretty much where I'm going. Assault. I don't take assault seriously at all. But no, I love it. It is fun.
I take it serious. I take it serious.
Okay, we got some new skins. Obviously, you got Sting, which is the Amazon Cab skin as well. We got Golden Noodle, as like everyone likes to call him, Golden Alcorn, and Artemis is there. Yeah, just golden. I can't believe everyone wanted the Golden Alcorn so badly. It's a
Noodle.
strange one.
He's the golden noodle.
He's got such a bit of a following going on at the minute. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
And then we saw.
He does look pretty sick though, like the golden noodle, like the legendary though. Looks disgusting. Like the legendary,
legendary
one. I played with one the other day, yesterday or the day before, which was all gold with like the black look to it. And I'm like, oh, it looks so good.
Voice packs added as well: Amazon Cab, Bakasura, and Hades. So Bakasura one's always a bit grumpy, and then just Hades having a bit of fun. I wonder who we're gonna get next. Who have we not got that we need to get?
What, the next god?
Well, no,
he's talking about golden ones, huh?
No, voice packs. I can't really think who we've got and who we haven't got left to go yet.
To be honest with you, I haven't bought one voice pack. Have you?
No. I tell you what, the only one I would love to buy the Sobek voice pack, but I'd need to buy the Sobek voice pack, the pirate skin, and then actually play him.
Like merge them together.
It's the best. Sobek's pirate one. If you say I'm the greatest, it says I've got the best booty or something like that. I think it's the best one. Entertaining. It's not irritating. Trust me. When you hear it, you're like, do that again. Do that again. Everybody in things like. I think I've had a game once where 4 people were like, just spam it all game. Just keep going.
I think, you know what? There was one game where I came in and somebody had said that. And they were like, oh, just spam, whatever the key combination was. And I did it a few times, and I was like, okay, no, I'm done. Click. My booty is the best booty. That's what Chad is saying.
Oh, it is so funny. I love it. It's probably the voice pack I would chuck out there. But you've got to have the skin as well. If you don't have the pirate skin, you don't actually get that.
It doesn't fit, right? It doesn't fit.
Well, it doesn't. It's like an Easter egg thing. It's like Hebo as well. Hebro's got a different voice pack to Hebo. Stuff like that.
So, jumping into the general section of the patch notes that came out this past week, the Assault queue is now been available to players 1 through 5, where previously you had to be level 6. Okay. I guess there's a large enough lower level base players now that they can, handle that. So cool to see that. As I said before, they did make some changes. They did make some cosmetic changes directly to the Assault map. The God Overview screen in the game lobby and the game skill screen has been updated, so they made some changes. They've been making a lot of changes recently to the out-of-game kind of results lobby screen. Are you happy with where they're at right now? Do you like them, or do you think that there can be some adjustments?
No, I'm quite happy. When I got into the lobby screen, I went, everything's got a red kind of like highlight around it, and I went, and then when it went to blue, I went, yes, they took my advice, because I was like, they had it before. It was just you that had the blue outline. Now everybody's got the blue outline. So
okay.
hang on. I don't know if they're doing it here. I don't think it's in the patch notes at all. But
Okay.
I think they said in League. I'm probably. I should do it in the League section, but I'm going to say it now because it's just popped into my head. They were thinking
bring
of
it.
they were thinking about adding masteries to the lobby pick screen, which I was saying about before that they need to do. Now, what they need to do, I feel, is when you get into the league pick screen, everyone should be able to see the gods, like the god pick list. Maybe not be able to pick, but at least see it. And then have all the gods where they can mouse over. And when you mouse over, it tells you every person that's mastered that god. So then you can quickly go, well, if I pick it for him, does he have this god as well that I want? And then you can mouse over and just check.
Okay.
I feel it because there's a lot of times where people will go pick me this god, but then they haven't got your god, and then it's just like and it's so clunky waiting for people to reply. It would streamline the whole kind of thing a bit better.
That makes sense. That's a little okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That. Moving on from there, we had some adjustments here. Now, this might have been where the Chronos type of problem stemmed from. Gods that deal magical damage with their physical attacks have been modified. The scaling of their basic attacks has undergone some changes to help them scale better throughout the game to physical damage dealing gods. Your basic attack damage is now broken out in the bottom left pane of the HUD separation from your magical and physical power from items. So they did make some adjustments there. I'm not sure if this was directly where it stemmed from, but there were some adjustments there. There's been some optimizations to the low settings that have been made. So happy about that. I'm really happy to see Hi-Rez trying to take a type of a card necessarily from Blizzard when it comes down to World of Warcraft, having their game pretty much be able to play on any platform regardless of your performance. And I'm really happy to see this. Now I just want to see it be playable on Mac. I think I think they do. I think they really, you really need to be able to play on an Apple platform.
Yeah.
Why are you limiting your player base? I think that could definitely be a very big positive. Outside of that, jump has been added to a few additional gods. Let's see what else we got.
They've reset the key binding, so I actually started using it because I hadn't found it, and all of a sudden I was like, okay. And now you've said that, I've actually gone in game just to check. You actually do have, you've got the auto attack, which is basic attack, which is the fist, and then your abilities, which is your magical power there as well. And it actually does just under, actually. It says 146 at the minute for the Chronos that I'm on, but I was doing 132. But obviously that's mitigation involved there. So that's a good thing to just check up on.
Yeah. There were a bunch of changes adjusted. The god rotation's been changed as well. Artemis, Isis, Kali, Sobek, and Vamana. And I think that's really, there's a bunch of little changes here and there, little fixes, but I think that's it. We'll throw it over to Risty to go over some of if there were any big spectator changes.
Well, the biggest change that was right at the bottom actually for the general section was they've added an audio warning for match lobby when you're below 10 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about the new numbering countdown system? I forgot to mention that. When you're in the lobby and it starts to count down, the ticker gets louder and the number gets bigger, where it's like 10, 9.
Oh no, I feel that's needed because the amount of times that you're either sitting there typing, trying to discuss with somebody like, what do you need? What's this? What's this? Or sometimes you get into that kind of where you're trying to sort stuff out, and all of a sudden you're like, why'd it close? Oh shit, I run out of time. And it's like, oh. But at least now you kind of get that ticking in your ear. At least you kind of know what's going on. Then and you just quickly, frantically, then the last 10 seconds go, right, I'm having that one. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
So, no, I like it. It definitely was needed. Spectator changes fixed an issue where the Minotaur camera would not work correctly. Entered into in the end. Other than that, no, that's about it. Pretty much, they fixed a few things, refined some distances when selecting team fights. When in assist and direct mode, towers fade when the camera gets near. Thank you.
Oh, I noticed that actually this past weekend.
Yeah, they just need. They're starting to get into the fading bit, which is great. Now, like I was saying, the best thing they need to do is just fade some of the scenery when the scenery's between the players and the camera.
Well, you're talking about an auto fade. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they're already doing it kind of with the towers as it is.
Yes, correct. The tower almost goes like that fake invisible that you would see on a TV show where somebody goes invisible or something. It still shows the outline so you can see them being invisible.
So if you did that with the scenery bit, it might work a little bit. It's more steps. They're getting there. They're working with it, and they're actually getting the towers now. But if they started doing that with the scenery as well, it'd be epic. And then all of a sudden you'd be like, well, there's never anything going to get in the way of the camera. Let's go with that.
I forget, did they add some time ago an adjustment so you could hit a key and it lowers the landscape to a degree?
Yeah, yeah, they did. You take out some of the brush
What
and the
key
top
is
of
that again? Do you remember?
I have no idea. I haven't
I
done it.
can't remember what that is.
Okay,
Okay, that's okay. I was just thinking about it.
they fixed an issue where players could continue to move in their current direction when stasis was reached in replay. I don't know. Stasis, for anybody that doesn't realize, is when if you're watching live or you might get it on the replays, but it's very rare that it's still waiting for the information to come down. So basically, it's like buffering for YouTube or something like that. That's pretty much what's happening. You're buffering the replay, so you actually have to. It's paused and still going,
Yeah.
but it's kind of weird when you're in the stasis mode because all the characters still move and then they move off map. It's like, what's going on? Where was he going through the wall?
Talking about replays was interesting because I saw a post yesterday on Reddit where somebody had made the argument and they had asked, hey, Hi-Rez, what are the chances that we can, that you can add in a feature so we can save our own replays if we'd like after games? Like, hey, I just had an epic game. I want to save that replay, but I want to save it to my computer and not your servers. And I didn't see much happen from that, but I still think it's a great idea, and I'd really like to see it happen with their Unreal engine that they do have set up. Because I think it'd be so valuable to be able to share those and have them as like an archive.
Well, we all pretty much want. Personally, as a player, I want every single one of my match recorded and replayed.
Oh, sure.
That's how I feel. I want every single match, so then I can go. Just for instance, I want to go back to that match. It's like or you have the best match ever, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, that wasn't recorded. Crap.
Do you want to hear a secret?
Go on.
Not sure if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I like giving chat room secrets. Everybody has spectator mode, by the way. Did you know that?
What you mean live spectator?
Live spectator mode. Everybody
they added that then.
I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people, but you have it.
Do you know what the tournament thing? If a lot of people watch this,
now next week all the tournaments are going to crash and they're going to blame me.
Yeah.
And be like,
well, they're on different servers, so it should be all right. Like the spectator client's on a different server. The game will still run fine.
Yeah.
But Dry Bear and Lionheart and all the other ones might suffer a little bit of lag.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was trying to get a. I was casting with Smite Tube, and they were trying a guy out, another caster out with me, and right before we went live, I went ahead and I said to him, I said, hey, I was thinking about it. It's like, you have spectator mode, right? Like you got permission from Hi-Rez and everything. And he's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, I can view like previous matches. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but you have spectator mode, like you can view live games, right? He was like, "Oh no, I don't have that." And I'm like, "Well, how are you supposed to cast with me? Like, you're killing me, noob. You're killing me." And so I like reached out to a few of the guys from Hi-Rez, and they got back to me that night, and they were like, "Yeah, they're like everybody has spectator mode." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "But you guys didn't announce that. Like, when did that happen?" And they're like, "We didn't announce it. It's just kind of nonchalantly been slipped in there." And I'm like,
"Yeah, I think they don't want to put the load on the servers."
I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Okay." I was like, well, so I went back to the guy and let him know that everything was good to go. But I was just like, oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, for people that didn't know, like everybody had to get like media access permission. You had to put like your own little, like a promotion code into Smite so you could live spectate. So they've obviously lifted that restriction now. So
well, yeah,
I'm no longer special.
You used to have to apply to it. Like when Smite first came out, like with the beta client, or with like the opportunity to even have spectate, like it was only handed out to casters that like did the weekly tournaments, and then like as Risty was saying, to a few people within the community. And at one point they actually locked it and was like, we're not giving it out to anyone else. And that's when, I'm trying to think, I was casting the My Revenge tournaments then, or I was about to start casting the My Revenge tournaments, and I had done a ton of, like I used to do a ton of cast off of replays and then post them up on like Reddit and stuff like that, and I was getting some good traction there. So I applied for it, and there was a whole like application process, like what do you tend to do with it, what is some of your content in the scene. You couldn't just like, some random person couldn't just go ahead and go out there and do it, you know what I mean? and
I
decided.
blagged it and said I was trying to host tournaments.
Exactly, something like that. So I ended up getting it, but it was like
That's
it
great.
was super hard to get then. Like I had a guy that I know. I won't name his name. He was part of a like group of like 3 or 4 streamers that would stream on a certain channel, and he applied for it and they denied him, and he was all pissed and everything. And he had come to me. He was like, "I don't understand why they're denying me." And I'm like, "Well, have you ever casted anything before?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Have you ever done anything in the community except for streaming every once in a while?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, why would they hand it out to you? Like, they're only giving it to people that have actually done the work to get it." So I remember it was like to have spectator mode. It was like you were the man.
Oh no, it's good. It's good. I did. Yeah, I'm no longer special. That's all it means to me. So I can move on. League changes. The leaderboard has been modified to allow browsing of all the tiers, not just your own. So you can kind of see who's in the tiers above you and see who's in the
Yeah.
top 100 and other tiers. Nothing kind of really spectacular. Well, it's always nice to kind of see where some people are. It's like, oh, okay, so so and so's in that league, and who
Yeah.
you might recognize some of the people you've ever seen and gone, oh, so here's the guy that used to annoy the crap out of me, and he's a league above me. I don't like you anymore. I didn't like him in the first place, but now I don't like him even more. Moved league seasons, which are the seasons you have completed to a league area in the profile. So basically, there was like a load of like scrolls that have with the final position you have on that season's
Yeah.
thing. So you get to see the position you was then. My standards now has games remaining to qualify countdown, which they're actually. I think I remember seeing they're actually thinking about removing that as well. I don't know if it might be in the spoilers that they're going to possibly remove the qualifying cooldown and just you're all participating. I know I've seen that in the spoilers now. I said about it today actually.
Yeah.
So they're going to remove that out, so you won't actually have to play all 10 matches to be counted in the league. But
They didn't give an exact amount though, did they?
what do you mean?
You said you don't have to play all 10 matches to be counted.
No, so you probably have to play one just to get some points.
Okay.
As long as you've got a bit of points, you'd be in there. I'd say you need to league to play one. If they started putting people in there that had 0, it'd be like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But other than that, they haven't actually added about league points as well. The fact that before it used to be, you started off with 100 points. Now you start off with 126 points. Every time you win, each win goes up in value 1 more point. If you lose, it goes down in value 1 more point. And
Okay.
as long as you keep getting a win streak up, you're the more. I'm not going to explain that too much. But if you lose for like before your first 10 wins, if you lose, you get half the points. So at least as long as you play 10 games, you've kind of got points. It's not too bad. You always want 10s, and that's kind of working out that way. They've added a new tab, a tier summary, as well. So, this is great because you can actually see where you position in the league as well. So you could see if you're in the middle or at the bottom, near the top, and actually show how many points are required to go for promotion and how many points will be if you demoted. Obviously, you have to get into silver before you get demoted, but it will just show you the regions and actually give you an exact number, which is a great little thing that they've added.
Well, I'm glad there's a little more like league transparency. It's kind of interesting. Like I've been playing a little bit of Hearthstone here and there. Actually, a lot of Hearthstone, and was watching BlizzCon this past weekend, and they were talking about even more transparency within like the league system, and I'm really happy to see like Smite kind of doing the same. Like as a player, you want to know where you stand at every moment, versus other people, and how you can go ahead and move up and what you have to do in order to move up. Like I like that because like I hate games like StarCraft 2, for example, where you never know like where your standing is. Like your rank in your league means nothing as to when you're going to get promoted or not,
Well, because they like to keep it in the things because they do it StarCraft 2, I think at the end of the seasons they put the top 8 against each other for like a bit of a ranking or something like that. So they don't want to promote you too early, and also they don't want to put you into a league higher up when you're not ready. So it's their whole way of doing it.
What is your thought though about how you move up at the end of a season and not like in the middle of a season, depending on how well you're doing? Do you like that, having to wait like to the end of the season? Or
No, I don't like having the wait.
Okay.
To be honest, I feel a bit aggravated, but then it also possibly stops the people that luck it up there for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can have a good streak or get carried in a few games, and last thing you want is those people being promoted. But I feel that what they're going to do, like we saw that the top tiers are going to start being really low populated. Mm-hmm. They might need to work in something else there for like if you get up to like a certain win-loss ratio over a certain amount of matches, then start promoting you up, because you need to do like at least I'd say 20 matches minimum before you can start working out where your actual win ratio is. Sure. And if you've got like a 75% win ratio, you'll clearly need to go up one. It's when you're down to like a 50, 60.
Yeah, that's true.
65. That's when you're about the right range. So
I mean, the league system's new and everything, and I understand that. That's fine, and I'm not even like gonna rage about the league system, because literally I don't play enough league. Like with the amount of games that I play, it's all like community viewer games or like nonchalant type of just getting on for a little bit of time. You know, I'm not one to play a lot of league, to be honest with you, but I do like it. I do like the direction they're going with it, and I think there's lots of changes they can make. But I think overall the community is happy with it, with the pace it's going at, because it seems like they're putting a lot of time and a lot of effort into polishing the league system.
You know what? I got a gripe. I have got a gripe.
Tell me your gripe.
I hate players.
Let me get out my tablet and you can lay
I
down.
am going to do it. I hate it. I really do. I put this towards Hi-Rez. Remove surrender from league. I do not go into
like that. I like that idea.
I hate people wanting to surrender in a league match. I'm like, so what, we've fallen behind early game. I've turned so many games around late game that it doesn't matter to me. I will play to the bitter end. I'm in the league trying to push up. I don't want to go just throw away a loss. Oh, well, we're behind a little bit. Let's surrender. No, I will fight to the bitter end. I am stubborn that way. I would much prefer him to remove it, because people give up way too easily, I found. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, left lane fed, right lane fed, but one lane's doing it right. Or one of your ADs is, I think one of our Apollos once was like 7, 8, and 6, not 7, 1, and 6, okay. But the other lanes weren't doing too well, and then there was someone else, and it was just, he's got enough, he fed enough that we'll be all right. We've got some damage. And also, some teams are early game comp winners. They're going to win the laning phases. But when you get to the team comps, team fight positions, you're going to win better off like that. Like, I've had games where just how they picked out was purely late game gods. The early game, we're going to suck. We was always going to lose early game. But if we could hold out for the 30 minutes, they couldn't keep up with the damage. But people give up too easily. They don't like to feel behind. So then I feel they need to remove surrender. Just remove it. Just go, that's it. You're in for the long haul. Just play it.
That's an idea. Or, as somebody said in chat there, just make it longer. Like how long it takes to surrender. Because, 10 minutes, things might go to crap. Make it, 20 minutes or something like that. I don't know. But there could be an option there. I definitely like it. Definitely possible options.
I'm too stubborn for me. I'm always that one. Literally, if someone puts surrender, I go, don't play ranked if you're going to surrender. I will literally say that every time it goes up.
Look at you.
Yeah, I get proper gripe on.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead here and take a look at the next section, which is kind of item changes. The scoring of all items should be updated to reflect correctly on the scoreboard now. Magi's Blessing had a change there as well, fix an issue that was going on with that. Soul Reaver, the item, the icon and tooltip for the passive ability is now available, and Stone of Gaia, there was a fix that was done to that. Now for gods, we have an awful lot of god changes to go over, so we're just kind of going to skim through some of them there. There was an adjustment for Agni, fixed something with his flame wave. The Path of Flames, there was also a correction made there as well to the crowd control. And his ultimate with the Polynomicon passive now works with this ability. I guess it wasn't working before, so there was that change there. So happy to hear that, actually. A lot of good fixes for Agni. For Anubis Grasping Hands, the ability can now be placed anywhere, so it's no longer limited by the environment.
This is actually a big thing. I know they fixed this with Zeus with his ultimate, but you know where you're trying to fire it over a wall, but you just can't get the center of it in the lane.
Yes,
but
it
drives
you nuts, right?
Yeah, so at least they fixed that now. So if you can just get that little bit out, you get the kill. So it doesn't have to be in the lane. So it's I love the fact that they fixed it. It's definitely a good one to see.
Yeah, definitely. On top of that, there too, so we did have the adjustment for Anubis, so that can be placed anywhere. No longer requires line of sight. With Alkong, there was a graphic overhaul. Athena Shield Wall, there was an issue fixed there where she was running against collision problems, so that was corrected. And finally, Bakasura fixed an issue where after the first taunt, Bakasura's body would freeze until he performed an action. So that's really kind of goofy. That
sucked for Bakasura.
That's really weird. I would rage so hard if I was in the middle of that. Why don't you take away another few gods?
So we got Bastet. Pounce was fixed an issue with a Pounce where it wouldn't return when special delivery. Sure. There's another one I think Pom Pom was going on about, where it's like, I should be able to pounce back from Najar's ultimate. I know there's a few times I've been like, really? But then it's Najar's ultimate. You probably shouldn't be able to get out of that one.
Yeah.
Kronos' Accelerate. The duration of this ability has been reduced from 8 seconds to 7 seconds. Fenrir's Brutalized once again addressed an issue with his ability on recalling targets and returning to base. So I'm guessing it pulled him back to base with him. That'd be quite funny. You brutalize someone and all of a sudden, crap, I'm in the well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we got Carly. Some effects on her abilities have been updated. Nice World Weaver can now target Summelcon's decoy. So that's now going to be a problem, especially if he's charged it up.
Which makes sense though, because if you want to go target it, you could instantly be like, okay, it's a decoy, ignore it. Compared to you should be able to target it because you should be able to make that mistake.
Well, yeah, that's the whole reason for a decoy. Yeah. Now, I'd say a big change, but it kind of changes the way that Najar works. The passive was reworked. It's Immortal Spirit. So Najar's Immortal Spirit cannot be suppressed. All successful basic attacks increase his healing health HP 5, health HP 5 for 0.5 per stack up to 50 stacks. So you get 25 healing health every 5 seconds when it's full stacks, and stacks are lost on death. So now it changes the way that kind of Najar works a bit, because before you used to be able to, in like a team fight, you could charge in, pull like Poseidon out the way, kill him, but then you'd die as soon as you hit the ground, because everyone knew where you was coming.
Okay.
But you would at least leave that healing circle on the ground. Now you've got to kind of approach team fights a little bit different. It also kind of opens up Najar for a death toll start for a jungle because of the extra healing.
Okay.
I haven't tried it yet. I just haven't got a chance. I haven't really tested it. I wanted to test it today, but I was too addicted to League, so I didn't try.
Addicted to League? Never. Never. No.
Especially when the girlfriend's over there. She's like, do you want to do anything? No, I'm busy. God,
I'm playing League. Yeah. Leave me alone.
I know. So yeah, that was a nice change. It's definitely one you kind of notice when you're jungling early, because you're not struggling for health. Because Najar used to be one that kind of struggled for health a little bit at the start, just from so it kind of helps out a little bit. Summelcon, general fix where Summelcon's defeat screen was not showing the decoy with the chosen skin. So you'd have the Silver Sage skin and the normal one. That'd be quite funny.
Sure, definitely.
The passive protection is reduced from 20 and +1 per level to 10 and +1 per level. So that was his undefeated body. That was his passive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was because he was a bit tanky. So they're going to move that down a little bit. They've changed as well the 72 transformations. The cooldown's been reduced from, changed, should I say, from 15 seconds at all ranks to 18 seconds at level 1 and 14 seconds at the permanent rank.
Yeah, I knew there would be changes coming for Summelcon. You know what I mean? Like,
he needed a little bit. I don't see these as major changes. Well, the tankiness one is pretty big. Well, a little bit. It's 10. They've just taken 10 away, but it's not too bad. The Somersault Cloud, the decoy will now be destroyed immediately if hit by a stun, fear, or taunt, mesmerize, or disorientate. So if you use some CC on it, it would actually get rid of that one out of the way, so you can clear it instantly so you know where he actually is. Fix an issue where Summercon would sometimes be immune to crowd control for the rest of the match. Oh, I wish I knew what caused that. Oh, that would have been
the whole rest of the match, too, I think is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine being the guy that found that out? He'd be like, I'm telling no one.
Well, do you remember when Bumba's mask was first put in, when it had the movement speed buff?
Yeah.
Apparently, if Arachne killed 2 camps very quickly, like put the spiders there, killed 2 camps instantly, she got the permanent movement speed buff for the rest of the game. So
That's
it
so
was
funny.
just, it was mad. Fixed an issue where Summoncon's decoy had now inherited the chosen skin choice. So I'm guessing that was actually happening in game as well. So you could tell it was the decoy because it wasn't the right skin. The cap. Someone's asked what the cap for the Naja passive is. It's 50 stacks, so it's 25 plus healthy 5 stack.
Okay.
HP 5. So, and then fixed an issue where the decoy nameplate would fly around the map. Really? Fly around the
That's
map.
awesome. I
That's
want that.
pretty
I
cool.
want that. Give it to me.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Moving on with tier now. Octane.
All right, let's take a look here. So for Tyr, his body is now is properly disappear after dying. I noticed that he was kind of staying in place, like on the ground for a while, which I actually think that's kind of cool. When someone dies, I'd like to see their body like on the ground, like laying there until they respawn. Do you
Yeah.
see? I mean, I think it would make sense. I go ahead and kill Risty, and Risty lays there until like late game. It could take up to 55 seconds, and all of a sudden he comes back. I think it would make sense.
The whole time they're dead, that it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it also gives you that thing that. How many times have you chased after a god thinking, I'm going to go kill him, but he's already died, but you've not quite seen.
Like, the message or something.
Or, yeah, you're sitting there going, someone else is not here, but you'd already killed him in that fight, and it's like, the confusion. So, but then again, it could come into another like bit where you've got so much stuff on the floor. That you get into
Somebody in chat goes Imba teabagging. I'm sorry, every game has that. Every game has
noodle
that.
teabagging. It'll be noodle teabag. How bad would that
That's
be?
right. That's right. That's funny though. Good comment there. Shablanque, branching bola fixed an issue where the branch bola potentially hitting the same target twice. Thank you. That could be okay. Right now, like late game Shablanque is disgusting. So hopefully that'll make a few corrections there. Rising Jaguar fixed an issue with targets not highlighting properly and the ground target not centering for him. So okay.
Do you know the funny thing with in League, if you pick up Shibalonke, the amount of team that I've had that go, no, Shibalonke, and I'm like, seriously, do you not know how strong?
Do you not watch matches?
Yeah, this guy is sick, and they're like, no, pick Apollo. I'm like, Apollo's good, but so Shibalonke. It's like it doesn't really matter. Shut up.
So I have to comment. Someone in chat says a big noodle all over your face.
Yeah.
Back on the teabagging comment.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be pretty bad.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Moving on from there, Ymir, for his Shards of Ice ability, the time between detonating and the damage being dealt has been reduced. So I'm actually kind of happy about that. Not as much of a delay there. It's kind of instantly, so kind of nice to kind of have that for him. Zeus Lightning Storm, the ability can now be placed anywhere. This is kind of like Anubis. Does not require line of sight, so it makes sense. I can understand that. Zhang Kui Exorcism, the amount of healing captured demon has been reduced. Thank you. Keep it going.
I don't think it's enough.
Probably it originally was 25 for tier 1. Now it's 20, and it was originally 85, and now it's 80.
There was an interesting suggestion that I saw, and I think it was a Reddit post actually, that was saying about John Kui's ultimate. They were like, let it, because it's too strong at the minute. They say, well, let it break CC.
I don't understand what you mean. I don't understand.
No, not at all. There's sometimes where we let it go through in League, and literally, I hate it because anytime I literally have to. What was it? No, it was the worst combination. It was that and Humbats as well.
Oh.
So that was so much damage. But then when John Kui hit his ultimate off, it was like, just run away. Just don't even try and fight anywhere near it. It's ridiculous. But someone was saying like, let it break the CC, but then let you be able to stun him and snare him in place. Let the ultimate still go off, but lock him down so you can hold him in place. I actually quite like that idea. Then you could leave it as strong as it is, but then people have to understand that they need to stop him moving, basically.
I think somebody was drunk when they developed Zhang Kui's ultimate.
Yeah.
Just want to put it out there. You all know that's what you were thinking.
It's cool. It's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice idea, just too much. I also noticed a thing they need to address with as well is ambient sounds that characters are making. Like we had Thanatos jungle skin that would randomly laugh in the jungle, and give away your position. What I also noticed the other day was I can hear Hell's sphere that she's floating on. Well, I can hear her coming before she actually gets there because she's got like this weird like flying saucer like whistle that goes around with her.
Yeah.
You can hear her coming out of the jungle. So I feel they need to like remove some of these sounds to kind of even them up with other gods, because that one you shouldn't hear her coming really.
Okay.
If you have like any other god that comes out of the jungle, you wouldn't hear it. So why do I have to hear Hell? So
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I think I could see where you're coming from.
So that was just kind of a little random thing that I feel they need to fix as well.
Sure.
Moving on to the next section, though, guys, we've got the God review section where we kind of look at 3 gods. We go through alphabetical order and just kind of see where we feel that they are now, like balanced, unbalanced, pretty strong.
Yeah, where they've come, you know, just kind of giving our overall thoughts on kind of the current
today
state.
We've got Athena, Bacchus, and Bacchusura. So Athena, definitely one of the top picks in ranked, pretty much. Just great. The taunt's pretty good. It's funny when you get an Athena that taunts an AD, because I'm literally just like, okay then, hold down my attack button and go for it. It's like, thanks for that one. Cheers. Yep. It's not too bad. We've had it with some good rotation comps that, you can have 5 people in one lane like instantly. It's like mid rotates over to solo lane or even to the duo lane, and then I had like a teleport active Loki that would then teleport to a ward. We had 5 people in one lane in under like 5 seconds.
Oh, sure.
It was kind of funny how fast we got behind that one. But no, she's pretty good. Other than that, Shield Wall doesn't do that much damage, not too bad. But no, she's good CC, can get into places, and obviously has her utilities as well. Bacchus, probably one of the most annoying. I feel. Well, no, Sobek's the most annoying. I quite like him. Let's just do back. How do you think about Athena so far? Because I kind of jumped.
No, that's fine. I like Athena. I think she's really, really good. I mean, I definitely think she has her place. But you know, something we talked about earlier was just like, you know, we had talked about how like with these hybrid like super soldier gods, and like, okay, Athena I think is great as a tank. I think she's very balanced as a tank, but when you can go ahead and play her as like a jungler and do disgusting as her, I feel like something's wrong. You know what I mean? Like it kind of makes you wonder.
I know. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to put out that much damage to clear the jungle. Like, that's kind of where I feel.
Like I gotta be like, screw you, Last, for trying to go ahead and do that and being so good at that, because now because the thing is, like, now I notice everybody tries to do it, and some people are great at it, and, like, for Last, for example, he's really, really good at it, but, like, some other people try to do it, and it just doesn't work, and you're like, really? Like, you wanted to jungle, yet, you know, jungling's hard in the first place, let alone jungling with a tank, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot of people that realize that jungling, and they go, they think, oh, great, I'll pick that god up as a jungle, but people kind of know how to build a jungler, but they don't understand why the Athena's so good. It's the same with, like, if you look at StarCraft 2, you go, well, this build order works so well. Yeah. But unless they understand why and how it works, they won't understand what to actually do, and it won't work as effective. So that's where a lot of people don't realize with some of these unusual junglers, like Jungle Shibalonke is actually working out pretty well at the minute. Proxy QQ is doing that quite nicely on the taunt.
Yeah. Yep.
But I don't understand how he does it yet, because I haven't actually watched the match. So I wouldn't go and try that myself. I even kind of like looked at it a little bit and went, how does that work? But then I think what it is, it's Poison Darts, Rising Jaguar. Yeah. I think that's how it kind of starts. Yep. And I think you probably need a bit of a helping start as well, just to get up to level 2. So I have to see how it goes. But no, with some of these unusual... Yeah, just that one. Okay. So Bacchus is... I still feel Bacchus is strong. It's good. The belt's good. The belly flop's good. It doesn't really have too much of like a strong CC. It takes too long for his belts to get out, so it kind of messes him out a little bit. The only really good thing is his ultimate. And I sometimes feel that the intoxication lasts a little too long. Yes. Because other time I'm running around going, you for real? Come on.
You're like, seriously? Especially when you're trying to like get an escape going on. You're like, how long is this going to last? How long
you're trying to auto attack, and it's like, For real, I need to get one hit and I can't. I keep moving left and right.
Yes.
And you can't even stand still either. So when Shibalanke's ultimate go off, bang, instant stun.
Well,
So
I
it's
used
kind
to
of funny
rage
that way.
about like Bacchus all the time. Like I used to hate playing against him. Like it was I just had such a hard time playing against Bacchus. But now after he's been around for a pretty good while. I'm pretty happy with him. I mean, that's my biggest gripe though, and that's like your word, gripe. I feel like
Yeah.
is just running into situations like that. And you're like, oh my god.
Did you ever play it when he first come out? When he had his one with like obviously it was his chug. It added like physical power
Yeah, and it was absurd. It was absurd because
because
then
we used to
everybody
build him
would.
AD.
Yes,
It
yes.
was great. Ah, I had great fun at that. There was definitely. I love at the start of some gods where you build some wacky stuff because that's how they've messed them up, and then they have to fix it later on. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that was the good old days. That's when
Oh
you know
yeah.
you're a player.
Definitely, definitely.
So yeah, and now we're on Bakasura. Bakasura, he snowballs so hard either way. He either goes ridiculously strong and just destroys everybody. I
Yeah.
think we had one of the games where he was like level 20 and we was level 9 because somebody fed him up and it was like, oh, for
Don't
God's
feed
sake.
him,
But you can't
please.
get away from him once he's at that level. It's just, he destroys you.
Yeah.
But then if you don't get if you get like an average or just a subpar start,
Mm-hmm.
you've pretty much lost the character for the whole game because he snowballs so hard and in late game he doesn't scale that well. So it's just, he's a very high risk, high reward character probably. So he
Yeah.
kind of works out there. Um, but yeah, it's kind of weird how snowbally he is. He's very yeah. That's
Oh
probably
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, he's definitely a snowball type of style god, and I know they've been making more and more adjustments to him just because of those reasons of running into problems where it's like, hey, watch out because once you let him snowball, he is disgusting. So I can completely agree with you there.
yeah. So no, that's it. That's us. How we doing?
Awesome, awesome. Well, guys, before we go ahead and do our giveaway, say our goodbyes for today's show, I want to encourage you guys to go out to tweakedaudio.com. I can actually I think I can bump that up in chat here. I think it's either that or I don't know. There you go. Bam, there it is, tweakedaudio.com, one of the show sponsors. Please go over to tweakedaudio.com and purchase some amazing noise-canceling gaming earbuds. If you use the promo code OctanePro when you're over there, you get 33% off and free shipping anywhere in the world. Risty and I both use their earbuds. I do enjoy them. I have 3 pairs, one for at home, one for in the car, and one for at work. And they're noise canceling, which is nice. They have a no tangle cord, and furthermore, they are actually rather comfortable. Risty sometimes may argue against me,
No,
but
it's yeah. It depends how long. Yeah, it depends on your ears. Sometimes I'm getting used to them, but
yeah,
I've never been a big fan of
sure,
in your ear
sure.
earbuds.
I had a viewer actually, which made the same argument that you did, and I was like, you know what, buy a set, and if you don't like them, I will give you your money back. And they actually bought a set and loved them. And the nice thing is they're like $29, but then if you use the promo code, they're only like $16, and then you get free shipping anywhere in the world. And the cool thing about them is it's a lifetime warranty. So if you accidentally rip the cord or you step on them, you can just send them back and get a brand new set for free. So it's the only $16 pair of earbuds, which are noise canceling and comfortable, that I think you can get a lifetime warranty on.
I got them because they're free. Because I
Yeah.
won the first roll.
Yep.
It was the best bit, and the fact that they're tangle free. I do not have to fiddle around with a cable before the show. I've always thought, that's it, plug it in, go, head straight in. There's no tangling. That
Yeah.
is the best. If you're just going to buy headphones just for that reason, that
Yeah.
is the best reason ever.
Oh, sure.
They don't tangle.
Sure, definitely, definitely. No, I can completely agree there. So, guys, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and do a 400 gem code giveaway in chat for those of you guys that are joining us today. Let me go ahead and put that together.
I got my new keyboard.
Oh, well,
Finally got it.
while we put it together, why don't you give us your review? What keyboard you got, and your thoughts on it?
I got my SteelSeries 6G V2,
Okay.
which very solid. I give it that one. Heavy. I heard the reviews.
It's definitely pretty heavy, isn't it? Like for
Yeah. I went for the red switches because I've got my little like sampler switches here that I was trying out, and I liked the
now,
linear.
Where did you get your sampler switches at?
I found that just on eBay. I found
Okay.
I've got a bit here. It's called www maxkeyboard.com.
Okay.
That's the company that made it. And it literally is, they've just thrown switches on a bit of plastic.
Okay.
And you can try it that way. But they sent that out, and I preferred the lightness of the reds over the blacks, because I felt the blacks were a bit
Okay.
strong. But then with the reds as well, I felt maybe a little bit too soft and loud. So I got some little rubber like sound dampener things, which toughen them up ever so slightly,
Okay.
but also reduce the sound. So they feel very good. I've noticed that when I'm typing, I'm hitting more keys than I should. So I'm kind of getting used to that one. The only gripe I had about, and I think I was saying this to you the other day, that the print on the keys drove me nuts at first.
Yeah, I can feel it on mine now that I feel it, but I never noticed it till you told me.
Yeah, it was just because I was playing, and then I was like, it griped me a little bit. But
I've never heard of such a thing until you like mentioned it to me.
Yeah, it just because it felt weird, because my other keyboard, I don't know why it's smooth and none of the keys have worn off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, have they etched? I think they've etched it in there somehow. I don't know. It's a really old.
I don't know how the production setup is on it and how they actually make those and everything like that.
But no, it's just. I literally, the first 2 days, I was wanting to scratch off the letters. That was how much.
I think you had said something to me, and I was like, "Are you absurd?" I was like, "What is wrong with you? You can barely tell." You're like, "Oh, I can tell." I'm like, "You're nuts. You're nuts."
It was hot. Oh, I was going to girlfriend. I went, "It's horrible. I hated it." But no, I'm all right. I'm still. I'd have preferred it smooth, but I do love the keyboard. It's very solid. I like it. Yeah,
isn't it?
It feels good. It's very responsive, and the fact that there's no ghosting at all.
At all. I love your English. No ghosting at all.
Yes. Oh no, I got a guy from work actually was taking a piss out of my accent because he's from Birmingham, which is like Midlands. It's like the middle of the country.
Okay.
Nice Brummy. And I was going, I've got no sauce for my like chips or something like that. And he goes, sauce. No, it's sauce. I was like, no, sauce or something. I'm saying sauce. So he's like, you got no sauce for your chips. And I'm like, go away. So he constantly rips it out of me sometimes for that. So
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and do our giveaway in chat. We're going to give away 400. It's a 400 gem code brought to you by Hi-Rez Studios. So thank you to them for donating that. And if you guys are interested, the keyword in chat, and you have to be following the stream. And just so make sure you're following the stream and you're logged into your Twitch account, and put in chat the keyword is GG well played. So GG well played.
And the keyboard's really small as well compared to my old one.
The SteelSeries one is really small.
Yeah, I put it down and I'm taking up half the table now. It's really fun, but like depth wise.
Yeah.
Funny.
That's funny. So yeah, there's no pound sign, by the way. Thank you, Ridigar, in chat. There's no pound sign necessarily there. Yeah.
I had to buy an American layout as well.
That's good. It's the only layout that matters.
No, there's no pounds on it. No pound symbol. It's wrong.
What are you talking about? Shift number 3.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the pound symbol.
Yeah.
Couldn't they just? Well, you know what? It doesn't matter because U.S. currency is the only currency that matters, sir.
Oh, is it really? Are we sitting in Mexico? Give me dollars. We don't want our crap.
Go to Mexico, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we got dollars. We got U.S. dollars. Come on." Now.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
They know how it is down there. Come on now.
No, that's so.
Dang, crazy kids. So, anything new with you? Any new content coming out anytime soon? Anything?
No, I've been really bad. I've stopped streaming though, just for the fact that it was taking up so much time that I couldn't do it. If I literally didn't do stuff at the weekend, I didn't have time to do anything during the week. So I've kind of knocked down. I want to just focus on the YouTube account, just get everything going. Maybe if I feel like sometimes I say to people, I'll stream when I'm randomly doing stuff, but I'm like, when I'm doing League, I don't want to like share my attention to the stream because I want to focus, and that's kind of why I don't kind of stream.
Oh yeah, I can see that. That's good. Yeah, I'll be streaming, guys, after this from 7 to 10 p.m. on Smite game doing viewer games. So if you guys want to come out and do viewer games, I'll be streaming on there. Tuesday night I have Smite Talk Radio, so we're going to be taking callers' calls in, talking about a Musen Cab, talking about the new assault map, some little things here and there. So people can call in and voice your opinion. I know I'll have plenty of people that will rage about a Musen Cab, so I'm ready for that. Outside of that, I actually have a t-shirt coming out. I will have a t-shirt available. I was going to show it tonight, but I'm actually going to save it for probably next show. And you'll be able to buy that directly from my Twitch channel. It's very much gaming related, the shirt necessarily. So it'll be pretty cool. Looking forward to it. It definitely fits my stream mentality. We'll just put it that way.
Oh, really?
Just wait. Should be pretty good. Anyways, guys, if you're just joining us, type in chat GGWP for good game, well played. GGWP, that'll put you in the running for the 400 gem codes. And before we go ahead and do that, Risty, where can people find you when you're not on Smite Update?
You can find me at youtube.com/RistyUK and Twitter at RistyUK. That's pretty much it. You can do it on
everything Risty UK.
Pretty much.
Okay,
I'm going to put a link into chat, which is an eBay thing, which is the sampler for the MX Cherry thing that I was talking about.
Oh, okay. So, yes, excellent. Yeah, if anybody, and what that is, guys, if you guys weren't familiar, Risty went ahead and got like a sampler of switches so that he could decide what keyboard he wanted to get depending on the switches. Switches is actually, if you're not familiar, something directly under the key itself. And that determines that clickety response, the spring type of everything. So keep that in mind. You know, if you're looking for a new keyboard, you can actually get one of these samplers if you're interested. Well, let's go ahead and run the giveaway here. I will remind you guys that please go ahead and check me out on OctaneProGaming.com. That's my website, OctaneProGaming.com. Check me out over there. You can see I have a whole bunch of VODs. I started putting up some Hearthstone VODs as well as, of course, Smite. You can also check out my schedule over there. My weekly schedule does come up, along with a bio on who I am, and finally, kind of my gaming rig setup if you're interested. So make sure that you guys do go ahead and check it out. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice in 3, 2, and 1.
I win.
And congratulations to actually DawnZTV, DawnZTV. You have 1 minute to post in chat, and in the meantime, it'll give me a chance to go ahead and bring up the giveaways. Yeah, so one time I brought up my whole giveaway list, and I showed it on stream. That was bad. I was like, oopsies.
What, of the actual codes?
The codes, and codes for, like, games, codes for gems, all that fun stuff.
Whoops.
That was bad. I was like, whoopsies. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and send you the 400 gems. And, guys, we will most likely have a show next week. We try to have a show every patch, and we know most likely there'll be a patch this week. So we'll have a show next week on Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Seems to have worked out very well for the EU scene, having an opportunity to join us. As it's later, but it's not absurdly late like it was previously. So, guys, until next time, I'll be streaming on Smite Game here in about 30 minutes. And thank you guys very much for joining us. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Take care.
Good night.